Here's your wrestling news for March 14th, 2023. And we're kicking off today with Monday Night Raw, as last night's show saw months of build pay off for Rey and Dominik Mysterio. Ever since turning on his father in Cardiff, Wales last September, Dominik has improved in leaps and bounds, and this week's show saw the pair have one of the best segments we've seen in some time. While Rey is one of the most beloved superstars of all time, it was Dominik who carried this segment and once again excelled at getting heat, and by proxy, getting sympathy for his father. The segment in question saw Dominik challenge Rey to a match at WrestleMania 39, but Rey reiterated that he would never fight his son and exited the ring. The writing is on the wall, and everyone can see that this match will happen in due time, and expect the father and son to deliver when the two finally go one-on-one at WrestleMania 39. Raw also saw an appearance by the Bloodline, but in a very rare instance, this week's show was a swing and a miss for Roman Reigns' faction. In the main event of Raw, Kevin Owens faced Solo Sikoa, arguably the most protected star in WWE behind Reigns and Cody Rhodes, who the company insists on not being defeated. Sikoa versus Owens in a street fight no less is, on paper, a fantastic match, but in practice, the bout simply wasn't up to expectations. The spot where Owens went through a table was the only highlight, and the Usos were backstage waiting to ambush the former Universal Champion. It's hardly a secret that Owens and Sikoa can have great matches, but this just wasn't one of them, in a rare misstep for WWE's most popular storyline. This past week, WWE returned to Madison Square Garden for a live event, and given the historic venue, many of the company's top stars were booked to appear. Seth Rollins, Charlotte Flair, Cody Rhodes, and Sami Zayn all appeared inside the world's most famous arena, but some big names who were advertised were a no-show. PW Insider reports that Bray Wyatt was supposed to face LA Knight in a lights-out street fight, but the former Universal Champion did not emerge for their rematch from the Royal Rumble. Knight only made a veiled reference to Wyatt's absence before calling out someone else to fight, and his challenge was answered by Braun Strowman, who picked up the win. Wyatt wasn't the only AWOL superstar, as OMOS was also advertised for the show but didn't appear, but that didn't stop him from having a face-to-face with Brock Lesnar during this week's Raw. But why didn't Bray Wyatt make it to the Garden? Well, according to a report from Fightful Select, they explained that Wyatt was off the show due to a physical issue and that there's no timetable for his return to programming. While Wyatt has been building to a WrestleMania match with Bobby Lashley, though that's yet to be announced, and that match may not be as guaranteed as first thought. Fightful added that the materials and various props brought in for Wyatt and Uncle Howdy each week have not been brought in for the past 2 weeks, and that Wyatt has not been seen during the past 2 weeks of SmackDown. Despite this, Lashley has continued the feud without Wyatt, and was distracted by Uncle Howdy earlier this month, and was attacked by Uncle Howdy earlier this month, but was able to fend him off. Contrary to what some are claiming, there has been no indication from Fightful's source that Wyatt's absence had anything to do with being creatively frustrated, which is what some people believe, given the seeming randomness of the Wyatt-Lashley feud. In the second report, Fightful reported that WWE's creative team were told that Wyatt has had an illness, though one that is not expected to affect him long-term. Wyatt not being at last Sunday's MSG show was not exactly a shock to WWE, as he wasn't on the internal rundown for the show as of last Friday, and hasn't been at recent live events or TV shows. Despite returning to WWE over 5 months ago, Wyatt hasn't seen much in-ring time, and the majority of his matches have been street fights at untelevised live events. WWE may be optimistic that Wyatt vs. Lashley is still on for WrestleMania, but at one time, they were confident he would be competing at the Garden, and it just goes to show that every event, from a house show to WrestleMania, is subject to change. Well, what do you make to all this? Is the WrestleMania 39 match in jeopardy, and what do you think WWE should be doing with Bray Wyatt's character? Sound off in the comments. We can't say for certain what the future holds for Bray Wyatt, but we do know that the fans aren't exactly thrilled about the idea that he may miss WrestleMania. On Twitter, Bobby Lashley hinted that he'll be facing someone else at WrestleMania, saying that he doesn't care who it is, but somebody will feel his wrath next month. In response, fans criticized Wyatt possibly missing WrestleMania, with one fan stating that the former Universal Champion has taken his ball and gone home. Another merely stated that Bray is a joke, while a third suggested that if Wyatt is indeed out of WrestleMania, then they'd love to see Lashley face Bronson Reed instead. Other names suggested as opponents include Randy Orton, who continues to be out of action with a back injury, as well as LA Knight. Like Lashley, Knight has insisted that he will make his presence felt at WrestleMania, but who would you like to see step up to the almighty in Los Angeles if Wyatt is indeed out of the equation? It wasn't long after Steve Austin's in-ring return at WrestleMania 38 that reports came out stating WWE wanted another match from the Rattlesnake. Despite his age and nearly 2 decades of retirement, Austin looked in great shape during his match with Kevin Owens last year, and a match this year is still a possibility. According to Sean Sapp in a report behind Fightful's paywall, a Stone Cold match is still on the table, with WWE making multiple pitches at the Hall of Famer. We've been told and reported that multiple pitches have been made to Steve Austin since last year. WWE sources believe he's been open-minded about the possibility of another wrestling match for the right situation and right money, but the offers so far haven't seemed like either of those. Sources familiar with the situation told us that Austin was pitched a match with Brock Lesnar last summer or fall, but the money associated was a non-starter. Later on, Austin was offered a significantly higher amount to possibly face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and we're just told that he didn't get back to WWE on it. Of late, we've heard that a very in-shape Steve Austin was made additional pitches to get on the show, but not for necessarily marquee matches. LA Knight was a name rumored online, and we can confirm that's at least been pitched. However, nobody close to Austin or WWE have been able to verify that it's happening as of yet. It was also noted that Steve Austin is scheduled to do some WWE-related promotional work for WWE 2K soon, so fans will be seeing the Rattlesnake no matter what in due time. Whether it's LA Knight or someone else, a WrestleMania match will be a huge deal if Austin and WWE can pull it off next month in Los Angeles. Last Friday, WWE finally began confirming names for this year's class of Hall of Famers by confirming Rey Mysterio as the first member. Rey debuted in WWE in 2002 and won over fans during the Ruthless Aggression era, and now another star of that era is set to join him as a Hall of Famer. That's according to PW Insider, who report that WWE is very close to finalizing a deal to announce Stacy Keibler as the next member of the Hall of Fame in 2023. The report said that while Keibler's deal has a 99% chance of being completed, the deal was not finished as of last Friday, so nothing is guaranteed until WWE makes the announcement. Stacy's wrestling career began when she signed with WCW in 1999, and after joining WWF in 2001, would remain until 2006. Her most recent appearance for WWE came in 2015, when she inducted her friend Tori Wilson into the Hall of Fame, and now it looks like it'll be Stacy's time in the spotlight later this month. And we're ending today with AEW, as the promotion has an incredibly loyal viewer base, even if the ratings are not the same as they were this time last year. Many have attributed AEW's fall in ratings over the past year to the absence of CM Punk, who spent a solid chunk of 2022 either injured or suspended, and 2 WWE Hall of Famers aren't tuning in. During the Click This podcast, Kevin Nash said that he and Stone Cold Steve Austin have a pact, which means neither man is tuning in to Tony Khan's programming. Nash added that by the sounds of it, The Undertaker isn't watching either, which is a nod to a comment from the Dead Man, who said that Nash got a huge pop from him when Big Daddy Cool previously claimed that Stone Cold didn't watch AEW. AEW may have proven themselves as an alternative to WWE, but it's impossible to ignore the ratings decline over the past 12 months. And how would you try and fix this problem if you were in Tony Khan's shoes?